What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. This is another classic episode, mind you. We're going to continue on our series. This is about the fourth episode into my 2023 NFL Draft Prospect Series. And folks, you already know, I bring you nothing but diamonds on this show. This guy's more than a diamond in the rough. He's sticking out. He's one of the dopest offensive linemen in all this college football draft. Coming out of Tiffin University, we're going to cover his whole story today. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take and welcome none other than Nehemiah Bing. Mr. Bing, how you doing?
Good. How are you today?
Doing well. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Draft past 4 months away from now, so we got some time. But thank you again for coming on the show today, man. Tell us a little bit about your football story, man. How did you initially fall in love with the game?
Man, before I even played football, my dad had me in other activities such as like Boy Scout and a couple other things, but I was too energetic, like too much energy. He knew that. And I used to watch football all the time. And as a kid, like I was 8 years old when I first started playing football. So I'm just watching TV and I'm like, one day I'm gonna be out there. I don't know why. I just felt like I could play football. And then my dad signed me up at the recreation park that was like 10, 15 minutes away from my house, New Hope Eagles. And that's where my journey began at 8 years old. It was the first time I laced the cleats up, started it and started playing. And I loved it ever since. First position I played was nose guard, actually. And then from then on, I switched between defense and O-line at the same time. And I enjoyed it, really had a good time. So since then, 8 years old. And today I'm 22 years old and I've been playing since then. So it's been a long time.
That's beautiful. Now, I was reading online, you're from Georgia originally. What was it like playing high school ball growing up there? And as far as like the talent level goes?
Man, Georgia, I'm a vouch for Georgia always. I'm going to say we have the best football. People are going to talk about Texas, Florida. People even talk about Ohio football. Nobody can compare to Georgia football on a Friday night. The whole town's going to be there. It's going to be lit. Everybody's going to be excited. You know everyone in the crowd, from your family to your friends to the school people. And it's just a fun environment, a good time. And I just enjoyed every moment. I played at Paulding County. We weren't good at first when I got there, really. We were like mid-average, but I didn't really play until my junior year. So my junior year, we went 4-6, missed the playoffs. My senior year, we went 5-5, made the playoffs for the first time in 10, 15 years, around something like that. And it was just a blessing. It was fun. And then they had a new coach this year, Coach Brown, and they made the playoffs again for the first time in a while. So it's almost like history repeating itself to see them go back to the playoffs for the first time. I was rooting for them. I was so happy to see Paulding County football back to on the map and them winning games, because that's what I love to do, and I love to see that from them especially.
You were anchor part of that offense, and then you even played some defense as well. What eventually led you to Tiffin University?
Man, so that's crazy. Okay, so after out of high school, my best offer was Division II school near my house, not too far, an hour away, which was in Rome, Georgia, called Shorter University. We were in the GSC, played the best of the best talent. I was there for 4 years trying to turn around a program and change the culture that was there. The culture wasn't as good when I first got there, and Coach Morrison came in and he had his own regime to change the program around. Weren't good, weren't winning games. We obviously knew it was going to be a project, so I stayed down for 4 years. And man, got tired of it eventually, got tired of losing, wanted to get an experience of a winning culture for my last year. And just it was my grad transfer year. I was looking for a graduate degree as well to get my master's in. And it just happened that my offensive coordinator my senior year was leaving. So he was leaving and he was going to Tiffin University. And I had no real thoughts about it. Like, we talked briefly. And then coming towards it, like, he seemed like I was frustrated, had a lot going on. We weren't winning games, stuff like that. And he reached out to me. We talked because we were always close relationship. We talked a little bit. And so I hit the portal like as soon as the season was over, and boom, he offered me. So after he offered me, I went on my visit, took my visit up here. I loved it. I loved the coaching staff, loved what they were about, loved the program, loved that they were winning. They had my master's, which was in psychology, and so on. Around January, I committed to them. I had a couple other offers though: New Haven, Valdosta State, a school in Texas, and other things. But Tiffin felt home. A lot of people would ask me like, "Wow, you had a Valdosta State offer. Why didn't you go to Valdosta?" Well, I played Valdosta. I knew the competition. I was in the GSC for 4 years, and I just wanted something new. And God led me to Tiffin for a reason. It wasn't for it wasn't for just any reason. You know, it was to play football and have a good time, win as I do it, and just experience a different culture. And it's crazy because looking at it, Valdosta State didn't have a good year. So
Yeah.
my team here, we didn't have our best year either, but at the end of the day, we were still able to compete for that conference championship my last game, which I was never able to do. And at Valdosta, oh, it would have been over by then. I wouldn't have even competed. So I'm just thankful to God, thankful that he led me here, and I enjoyed every moment here, and I'm just glad for my time here at Tiffin University.
Now you mentioned that you chose Tiffin, and what a big change that was for you, but even for the better, it sounds like. That being said, for folks who aren't familiar with Tiffin, I've heard of Tiffin before. What are some big rivalry schools that you guys take and play within that division?
So in the GMAC, Tiffin, you're gonna play Ohio Dominican. You're going to play Ashland, but Tiffin's biggest rivalry is Findlay. Findlay is 30 minutes across the way. They don't like each other. We don't like them. In 2019, when Coach Ricer first got here, was the first time Tiffin had beat Findlay in so long. And I think this year we lost to Findlay by 2 points, which was just a heartbreaker. But since he's come in, he's had a record against them 2-2 and got them back on a winning track against the rivals. And he's going to do a great job. I'm pretty sure next year Tiffin is going to beat them because they don't want that sour taste in their mouth again. So they're going to work extremely hard during the offseason for it. So, yeah, we're up here in the GMAC.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you know, as you and I talked before this interview, you know, Division two, tons of talent. You look at all the NFL players that play Division two are actively in the NFL right now. Austin Eckler, Ryan Jensen. I mean, the list goes on and on. What's a common misconception that people have of playing at a school like Tiffin University?
I think the biggest misconception is that, like, a smaller guy can't make it to the NFL, or, you know, they can't dream big, or their goals are unachievable just because they're at a smaller school because our resources are less than a D1 school, which is actually very false. A lot of strength coaches that I've had, which they really do the nutrition for us. They'll tell us what to eat and all that kind of stuff because we don't have a nutritionist. That if you really want something, you can go after it here at Tiffin University, at Shorter University. As I've always heard, if you're good enough, they'll find you. That's a fact. If you're good enough, they'll find you. And that, you know, from the nutrition standpoint and everything, you can get that here too, except it's a little bit more on you to be cautious of it, but you can do it too. Now, your body's not going to be like a D1 body or like an NFL body or anything because the nutrition's still a little bit underfunded. But the chance is to get your body to the chance to where you can do that. And then once you get to where you're supposed to be, then you'll have the other resources to get your body to the exact way you want it to look like.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I remember when I was in D2, it was, you know, it was weird because some D2 schools, they got treated like D1. You know, they had their own cool buses and everything. We had a bus that had mechanical problems. I mean, there was just so many issues. But then others like Chadron State were, you know, was one of our rivals when I played out west. And yeah, man, not fun. They
I
got all the
mean,
good stuff.
people don't understand too. The talent on this level is crazy, like
Yeah.
crazy. Like you've named Division II guys in the league and all that stuff. And even a crazy stat is there are more undrafted players in the Hall of Fame than first round draft picks. So that should tell you something. Like the talent from D2, D3, lower level, the people who aren't getting drafted are the ones who are making it and having long careers. Like if you want it to be you, it can really be you. Like just keep the faith. Don't give it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That being said, you've had quite the journey, right? Coming out of Georgia, you go to Shorter University, then you're like, hey, after 4 years, you had enough. Again, had quite a journey. And then you finished your college career in Tiffin over in Ohio, right? That being said, what's something that keeps you grounded in life?
Shoot, God and my family. That's it. God and my family. Without them, well, specifically God. Without God, I can't do anything I do. It's not a mistake to play or start 48 games in your career without any injury. All glory to God. God has kept me healthy throughout my entire journey. That's fact. He's given me the resources, such as the training room staff, from stretching, from anything that anybody has ever taught me, for anybody that I've ever come in contact with to help me with my body. And then my family is just my number one support. They're my backbone. They're deep rooted histories in faith. My family, because of that, I'm faithful. I love God. I'm a Christian first, and I just want to. That's who keep me grounded. That's why I'm so humble. That's why I am the way I am. That's why I don't really worry about the future because if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. You know, my dad always tell me, what God has for you, it will see your face. So if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. That being said, in playing football, you've played a lot of football. When did you realize that this could potentially turn into me being in the NFL one day? What was your aha moment for that?
Man, really? Shout out to my friend Zebo. My sophomore, going into my junior year, um, I was just like, I was just playing football really, like at Shorter. One thing about the NFL really, and it was the transition time. This was my junior year when I got back. Was the time I got big, like fully took an off season to get ready right before COVID year. And we were sitting in the room, and he was like, "Well, you can stop playing because you can really go to the league." And I was thinking, I was like, "Me, you talking to me? I can go to the league?" He was like, "Yes, you can go to the league." And you don't really think about that. Like, I'm just playing football, enjoying it. Just college. It is what it is. My team wasn't good. So I wasn't even thinking I was going to even think about the next level. But I knew I was playing next level talent, and I knew every year that I played, I got better and was dominating my competition.
Yeah.
And he was the one who really gave me my first belief that I could potentially even go to the next level or do anything professionally with football.
And so, what are some mentors that helped you get to where you are today, and that really inspire the man that you are today?
Shoot, mentors, really my entire family. I give it all to my family. From my dad, my mom, my cousins, my sisters, my uncles, they'll instill advice in me and just make sure I'm still on the right path. My friends around me especially from Shorter, I had a tight knit group of friends. We were called HWA Hawks. I can't tell you what HWA means, but because it's just a tight knit group, I can't give it away.
You
But
good?
those
You
boys,
good?
Debo to Austin, which is AB, Hanuk, Fabian, uh, Zebo, all my boys. They just kept me grounded, kept me humble. From coaches, from Coach Sandifer in high school, man. That was my O-line coach my junior and senior year. Really gave me a belief in myself. To my O-line coaches I've had at Shorter. Um, really Coach Kurd and this last staff that I had, and then Coach Morrison, really exceptional coach, been trying to turn that program around at Shorter, which is light years away. Coach Holzer, my OC, Coach Robles, my OC. I'm naming a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
And then that's really the people who've kept me grounded and kept me humble for as long and just allow me to play football. And lastly, I actually want to give it to Coach Johns and Coach Reiser too here at Tiffin. Coach Johns, my last offensive line coach, was the best offensive line coach I ever had. Got my technique right, had me knowing differences and really speaking like offensive level. For one of the first times I had called my friend Zebo and was like, "Man, I know what everybody's doing. I know we're on the same page. I know the calls to make." It was just a whole different type of confidence I was feeling here, and along with Coach Reiser for bringing me in and just allow me to join this winning football team. He gave me confidence in myself too, from all those people that I've had from high school, middle school. Oh, sure, I didn't even mention my elementary school, my rec ball coaches, Coach Malik and
Oh,
Coach.
way back.
Yeah, way back. I keep grounded. I keep in contact with those two as well. All those people have kept me grounded in my life and giving me the ability like to think that I can really do something with football. So, I mean, I'm just thankful to all those people that I've named. So,
Who are some players that you currently model your game after?
man, everyone who knows me knows I tell them my favorite player in the NFL is Jason Kelsey, 100%.
Okay.
Jason Kelsey is a smaller body guy, like he's like 6'2", 290 my size. And now I can't really say I can compare myself to him because he's an all-pro, the best center in the NFL. Like, but if anybody to take my game after, it'll be him because he's a smaller guy, but he's very athletic and physical. And that's what I can bring to the table as well. Very athletic. At Shorter was more of the time where I was able to get out in open space and you could see me more pulling and all that kind of stuff. Tiffin here, I was able to get out in open space too, but it was more on screens and such game as that. So I love those kind of plays. I love being out in open space because that's where I can use my athleticism to my advantage.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I mean, you look at teams like the Miami Dolphins right now, for example, that they run a zone scheme, right? Where they're, it's not your traditional O line, right? And this is my first time ever hearing that, right? So it's pretty cool to see the position revolutionize. It's not
Right.
just, I mean, some guys they pull, they do some stuff here and there, but the zone scheme, I mean, that's really good. So it sounds like you could really play both ways when it comes to that skill level.
Oh yeah, I love it. Love it. Love offensive line. You gotta love offensive linemen if you're playing offensive line because it's
Mhm.
a position. We don't get no stats, no awards. The only stat I'll tell people after the game, like they'll be like, "How many rushing yards we got?" Or I'll have my hat on that says "Run the damn ball," and people get mad. Like the receivers get a little mad. Why you got the? Because that's the only stat I get. The rushing yards that the running back has is my stat of the day. If they got
Yeah.
200 yards, I'm feeling good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. The great thing is when someone's making a huff puff run in their mouth and you give them a good pancake, like you fall
Oh,
on them and everything, those are always fun.
that's another stat we have. Pancakes. That's it. We either count our pancakes or rushing yards. Those are the only two things you can account for from an offensive lineman. Other than that, your quarterback gets hit. Oh my gosh, the O line ain't blocking.
Yeah. It all falls on y'all, man. So it's a tough position. People think it's just hike and then put your hands up. Like, no, there's a whole science behind it for sure. Let me ask you. Obviously, the NFL draft, right? It's we're already 1 week into December. We got a little over 4 months until the NFL draft hits us. What are some things that you're doing right now to get ready for the NFL draft?
Well, the season just ended December 3rd for me. This is crazy. I've never been this long in a season in December. So usually after a season, I'll take 2 weeks to get my body right, and then I'm back at it. But no, I couldn't even take 2 weeks. I'm already back at it. I'm in the weight room this week. I was lifting, squatting, doing all that good stuff, stretching, rolling out my normal routine, getting the body right. And then next week, because I'll be back in Georgia officially, I'll be able to get back on the field and start speed training and doing all those things to start preparing for any professional opportunity. So that's the goal right now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you mentioned you're from Georgia. Did you have a favorite team growing up?
The Atlanta Falcons.
Okay,
And
nice, nice.
any
Rise
Atlanta
up.
is my team. Now, my thing growing up, Georgia, I was never a Georgia, a UGA fan, man. Never was a UGA fan. I'm a Georgia Tech fan, actually rival. Got to Ohio, realized I'm around a lot of Ohio State fans. I can't really vouch for my Tech team because we're struggling. I'm still a Georgia boy at heart, so like I'm like, okay, I'm messing with the dogs too because my one of my little bros from Paulding County, he starting Mike linebacker Smile Munden, and he plays for Georgia. So I got to root for the dogs now. So at the same time, I'm telling them we get to play y'all. Y'all don't want to play us. Scared to play us, man. They don't want to face the dogs. That offensive team, they don't want to play us. I mean, you've seen what Michigan did to them. So imagine what Georgia's going to do to them.
Oh, it's gonna be all bad. It's gonna be all bad.
Terrible.
That's awesome, man. Let me ask you. NFL teams researching players, NFL scouts specifically. Um, they're looking at players kind of like a person goes to a record store to look for a good album, right? They're doing all the research in the world. They're going on social media, even watching interviews like this. For NFL scouts who are watching this, what's something you could take and say to them, to that team, if they were here right now?
You're getting someone who's going to work hard from day one, from the time they get in the room, from the time they leave. I'm going to be one of the ones to soak everything in, play my role. I'm going to try to be a leader, motivate people, and just do my best day in and day out. I know people say that like that can be cliche, but that is truly me. That is who I've always been. I'm on time for everything. I'm not going to miss anything. I'm going to try to stay after practice to work on my craft, to learn more, ask questions as much as possible, just try to soak everything in and just give it all to God at the end of the day for the opportunity. I mean, I don't think you can waste an opportunity like this. So to be late, to miss things, that's just wasting your time. You can't do that. So I'm going to be on time. I'm going to have my notebook ready out, ready to take notes, just soak it all in. And that's all they can want from me, and that's all they're going to get from me. I'm going to give my all every time, and I know at the end of the day I can live with that because I know I'm going to give my all, and that I've given my all. And every time I've stepped on the field, every time I've been off the field in a football related situation, no matter how I felt, if I didn't sleep good at night, if I didn't have a best morning of all, Coach Reiser says Kaizen, so which is continually improve. So my goal is to, whenever from day 1 to day 10, continually improve, however long it is, continually improve each and every day, get better at something.
Amen. Amen to that, man. And then to finish off the interview, I always ask all the players this, the sports world and the music world often go hand in hand. What's in your headphones on game day?
Shoot, Lil Wayne definitely is in my headphones. Raw Wave, Young Boy, Lil Baby. Those are really the few that are in my head on game day.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Lil Baby is the most common one. All the NFL players I've had on my show, it's like Lil Baby, Lil Baby, Lil Baby.
Yeah. Oh man, Lil Baby's definitely gonna be in the ear.
Biggest star in the world right now, hands down.
And you know where he's from. You know where he's
Georgia.
from. You know where he's from. Okay, so you know what we do. We bringing the stars to you. The A. Tell you.
Absolutely, man. Well, Nehemiah, man, thank you so much for taking and coming on the show. I know you're busy. Again, got drafted in a couple months, man. So thank you so much again for taking and come on the show. Before you take and you go, any shout outs?
Shout out my mom. I love my mom. Shout out my dad just for being a great dad. Shout out HWA. Shout out the Good Brand. I'm wearing my friend's clothing brand right now, Vance Anderson, the Good Brand. And then shout out my girlfriend, Jade. I love her. So that's really it.
That's dope. And folks, there you have it. 2023 NFL draft prospect Nehemiah Bing. Folks, follow his story. I'm going to have all his social media stuff all down below in the description of the box. And even for that cool hat that he's wearing, we're going to have that down below in the description too. So if you want to go pick up some swag, go ahead and hit that link down there. In the meantime, you guys have a blessed night. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Helps the channel to grow. We got more 2023 NFL draft prospects on the way. You guys have a blessed night.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for watching another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith, where I cover all 32 NFL teams plus NFL exclusive interviews. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for the alerts, comment below, and we'll catch you next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith.